Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Make sure you guys hit the live. Press the like button as you come in. Make sure you guys press the like button as you come in. Appreciate each and every one for coming in. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for some people to enter in, and then we're gonna get into it, guys. This is a story that I wanted to do on yesterday, but something came up, and I had to cancel my live, but this is the live that I am going to do on today. This is the live I am going to do on today that I supposed to did on yesterday. So make sure you guys are hitting that like button, please. Then I'm gonna wait a few minutes, and then we're gonna get into it.
Welcome to Philo, where you can get 60 channels for $20 and DVR for days. We've got hip hop for lovers.
No, it's been a minute. We're gonna be a minute, and then we're gonna get into it. I know that I supposed to have been live on yesterday, but I didn't do it. So just wait a few minutes here to see if anyone is coming in. Just wait a few minutes to see if someone is coming in, and then we're going to get into it. I hope if you guys have not, if you guys have not joined the membership, make sure that if you want to join the membership, all you have to do is press that join button, and you'll be able to get different perks that I put into the community tab. Once we get at least 12 members, hey Kendra, how are you? Once we at least get 12 members, we will have a 12-month calendar, and everyone who is a member will be a part of the calendar. If we can get 12 members, then everyone, if you are a content creator, you will be featured on a month of that calendar. And then we'll do, once we get a lot of, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Once we get all the members that we need, we will be doing members only lives. That's it. For different things, movies and stuff like that. But if you want to join, all you have to do is press that join button. I'm gonna wait another minute. Kendra, I hope you had a wonderful Wednesday. I hope everybody had a wonderful day. I'm just waiting here, but I'm going to get into it in just a minute, guys. This story that I'm about to tell you guys is like it's a crazy story. Very crazy, and it's very sad. This is the picture of one of the suspects. I'm going to pull this up in just a minute. I'm going to just go ahead and get started, and whoever's in, come in, welcome in. If you're catching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. Let's see here. This is This is Farhan Tawid. He is suspected of killing trying to kill himself, and he killed his family. This has happened in Allen, Texas. And it is, I am going to share with you guys some of the details of this story. It says here, someone was they're from the bank. Have y'all ever heard of Bangladesh? Well, these people are from the Bangladesh community in Allen, Texas. So what is going on here? It says here a welfare check just before 1 a.m. excuse me, on April the 5th led to Allen police to the discovery of 6 bodies in the 1500 block of Pine Bluff Drive. It says when officers arrived, they found the bodies of Farhan Tawid, his twin sister Farbin, their parents Iron and Taudal Islam, and their grandmother Altafan Nessa. Now I don't might not be pronouncing these names right, but that's fine. They all had died from gunshot wounds, and their police said is the result of murder suicide. Two of the brothers that killed their family, like they plotted together to kill themselves and kill their family too. Now, I don't know what kind of sick, twisted mess this is, but this is what it is. Um, a family friend, Sean Asan, said, when I heard the news, I couldn't breathe for 20 or 30 minutes. How could it happen in a community like us? We're so close and we visit each other and talk to each other. We have dinner and stuff. But inside the house, his children were unhappy for some reason. And one thing led to another. It says here, police said that Foreign Tower linked a lengthy suicide note from his Instagram, and I have this suicide letter. I found it. I came across it, and I'm going to try to read it so you guys can understand this suicide. Like, he basically, I'm just going to say this. He has a first of all, he's depressed, and he has a mental health issue. So he never did get his mental health in check. He basically, Lord have mercy, he basically just sitting depressed, and he thought about killing himself. And so he said he just couldn't live with the fact that his family would have to live with him killing himself. So he took his whole family with him. Now, how y'all take it, this is his sick mind. Pray for him, because this is crazy. But this is, from what I understand, how he was thinking. It says here, it says, hey everyone, I killed myself and family. I am going to die. I might as well get some attention. I'm going to cover 4 very important issues I encountered throughout my life. Who knows? Some good might come of it. For those who don't know, I've had depression since 9th grade, which is 2016. Not the damn I failed my test depression everyone says they have. More like I only cut myself twice today. That's better than usual. He said, I remember the first time I cut myself. It was on August the 22nd, 2017. And I did it with a pair of craft scissors. The blade were pretty dull, so it was more of rubbing the scissors against my arm instead of a clean cut. Eventually, my skin gave. After a couple more lines, the relief started to kick in. It didn't take long to become addicted to the feeling. This is crazy. Like, this is sad. Someone is addicted to hurting themselves because of depression, because of anxiety that they have. Let's keep reading. Unfortunately, scissors made for kids aren't very good at cutting flesh, so I had moved onto knives. It was pretty easy just taking one from the kitchen. They were dull, but they worked much better. Initially, I would cut myself every other week, but the frequency increased drastically as junior year progressed. I moved on to cutting weekly, every other day, daily, and finally multiple times a day. So he gets a pleasure. He liked pain. He gets a pleasure. He's saying he gets a pleasure out of cutting himself. He said it's like a big release. This, like, I have never, I have been depressed, but I have never suffered from depression like this to where I'm cutting myself, I'm harming myself. Um, let's go deeper into this. He says the need to cut leaked into the times I was at school. I can't count how many calculus quizzes I turned in blank since I was too busy in the bathroom cutting myself. To make matters worse, my three best friends dropped me. They tried to help me before, but they, in retrospect, what were they supposed to hold on? But they eventually realized that dealing with a depressed person is a lot of work. I was angry at first, but in retrospect, what were they supposed to do? And comes my first point, getting help. Everyone says you can talk to me and post those useless mental health links on their stories. But when you actually interact with someone who's depressed, you realize how impossible fixing them is. I've never benefited from telling someone about how depressed I was. It always ends with them having to leave me. The only people who really stick around are those obligated to. Just pretend you care and never directly offer to help. Is only a waste both it only wastes both of our time. So he's saying in this, don't tell people if you depressed, if you need someone to talk to, if you're going through something mentally, you need someone to talk to, and you offer the help, but you're not there. You're not there to you know, some people are there out of obligation because they're your mama, your sister, your brother. And some people offer the help, but they obviously are not there. They just saying words, but there are no actions behind it. You're not sticking by him. He was saying people weren't sticking by him and like being that shoulder that he needed to get him through his depression. Basically, what he's saying now. He said, I hit my breaking point at sometime in winter that year when I cut myself until I physically couldn't feel anything. I couldn't hide being depressed anymore. Once I told my dad, he worked his ass off trying to help. Eventually, I was thrown in some teen mental health camp. Hey, Chris, where I was finally diagnosed and got medication. He had got 25 milligrams of desvenlafaxine, if you're curious. I might be saying it wrong. He said, which seemed to help. They also gave me coping mechanism like journaling and whatnot, along with therapy. Things were looking up. Second semester of junior year, as some of you know, was a big change. I became fucking cool. By the time summer came around, I lost most of my fat and stopped being the cringy, awkward kid I used to be. End of summer rolls around and in comes senior year, the best year of my life. I somehow managed to get a girlfriend who was far out of my league, became a programming god, and made a solid new friend group. Things got even better when I got into computer science at UT Austin, which is supposed to be a big deal. I never really cared about school, but it felt good having something others cared about. My life was starting to sound perfect. Unfortunately, yes. The answer is yes. My life was perfect. That was the issue. My life was perfect, but that didn't change the fact that I was depressed. So he's saying my life was going fine. Like everything is fine. I'm going to college. I got a girlfriend. I'm cool now. I done lost weight, but I still have that depression feeling on the inside. So he said, My life was perfect. Well, he said, as he said, it was depressed. He said, I would still have the urges to cut myself or end up crying myself to sleep. I tried doubling my medication, which worked, but only temporarily. Every solution was always temporary. Fast forward to college. I moved in with 3 of my best friends. Going to college was going to be a fresh start where I could start putting in effort, get good grades, and hopefully become normal. I couldn't do it. I swear I tried, but I just couldn't. For the life of me, I just couldn't comprehend how you people do it. You people are okay with spending hours upon hours listening to lectures, doing homework, and studying for at least 4 years so that you can get a job and make some money. You plan on working at that job for a third of your life, sleep for the other third, and do God knows what for the last. How are you satisfied with that? Do you ever get bored or upset with the menial, menial, mental stuff? Doesn't it feel like you're wasting your time? So he's saying like he felt like going to college was a waste of time. He feel like um, I'm just reading like y'all. I'm just reading this. This is lengthy, but I'm gonna read it. Um, he said it's not fair. I did everything right, every little fucking thing right, and I'm still apathetic. Everyone allowed to worry about their future, and I can't even. Hold on. I'm sorry, I done lost my. He said I can't even think about what I'm going to do tomorrow without ending in enduring an existential crisis. It's not fair how everyone can be so content while I can't even fathom being happy. So he's so depressed that he can't even be happy. He said, no matter what I do, I just can't be happy. It bugged the hell out of me. I started doing poorly in my classes, and at the end of the semester, I had my first breakdown in months. I only cried, laughed, and talked to myself while punching a wall for hours. Compared to the other times I broke, this wasn't so bad. He said, at this point in time, my 2 suitmates knew I was extremely depressed. I mean, it would have been kind of weird if they didn't. My roommate, on the other hand, gave me the impression that I was a joke. Apparently, he thought he also had depression, and the only reason I needed medication while he didn't was because he had willpower. I guess in a way he was right. My second point starts with a question, mainly I directed to anyone who thinks they're depressed. Why? You had a bad breakup in 10th grade. You flunked your physical exam. I swear at this point you could claim you're depressed if you shed a tear after watching a Try Not to Cry compilation. I remember senior year when I arrived at school after a little cutting session, and one of my friends said I'm going to kill myself because they had a physics test that day. The best part is they knew I had oh, they knew I had depression, the real kind. And he said, before I start claiming I'm gatekeeping being sad, that's not the cause at all. Of course, it makes sense for people to be bummed out after forgetting about a quiz or the interview, not acing the interview. My problem is that while many people feel sadness, it just isn't depression. Depression is when you feel the same sadness to the point where it interrupts your sleep or prevents you from doing your hobbies for over 2 weeks. It's a real illness. And if calling someone retarded as a joke is considering wrong, then treating depression the same way should be too. Also, I don't get why mental illnesses are treated so differently from physical ailments. No one expects someone without legs to walk. So it shouldn't be so much of a surprise that someone depressed has a hard time being normal. I think this stems from the idea of consciousness separate from the physical structure of the brain. But if someone took out a fundamental part of your brain, you might become a completely different person. Off the top of my head, an example would be cases of with people with epilepsy. Once they had their brain removed, I'm not gonna were deprived from their seizures, but acted much more reckless as they seemed to no longer have a natural fear response. I'm sure that there are plenty more couples examples. Neurons are just the biological equivalent of transistors in computers. ATCG instead of zeros and ones, that's DNA, but you get the point. Consciousness is nothing but a byproduct of evolutionary luck. Winter break came along, and I tried to get reinvesting in school by programming. I made a 3D graphics engine with my brother, which was pretty fun. Check it out on github.com. He said, I was ready to give school another shot. I never really had a choice, did I? It didn't work. I just couldn't care. I tried my best to keep it together, but my closest suit mate noticed I was streaming off. He offered to talk to me, and I made the mistake of accepting. He said, I told him everything. He knew most of my ideals already, but there was one new thought I shared that haunted him. Don't worry, I'll reveal it in a bit. All you need to know is that a few weeks after I talked, I was kicked out the dorm. I can't really blame them, but I do wish they would have at least made the decision with me. A short week after getting excited, I dropped out of college. I needed to get a will to live before I could get motivation for some piece of paper. I spent the first few weeks of being dropped out by watching shows with my older brother. If you think my situation was fucked, his was much worse. The dude is fucking genius, but is too depressed and socially anxious to do anything with it. He had to go through the same shit I did, except by himself. I would have killed myself a long time ago if he wasn't there. Y'all, this is sad. I'm gonna continue to read this, but it's like he's so smart. You can tell that this guy is so smart, but mentally he needed someone. He needed medicine and he needed a counselor, and he don't have that. Okay, so the next thing it says the first, and I feel like he could have been facilitized for a minute too. I'm gonna be real. I feel like he need to be in a facility to deal with his depression. But anyway, we're gonna continue to read. He says the first and most important show we watched was The Office. This leads me to my third major point. The Office should have ended when Michael left. Don't get me wrong, there were a lot of good episodes afterwards, but eventually it went to shit. The whole point is that it's people in funny but plausible situations. But then they introduced Robert California, who convinced the owner of a multi-million dollar company to make him the fucking CEO. Then this stupid British chick whose name I can't even remember takes Andy's fucking job and nobody's backs him up. The show has them all burned and nobody backs him up. What the fuck is that? It's not realistic at all. And it spits in the face of all the character development we've had. Speaking of which, why does Andy have to go insane in the last season? Out of every character on the show, he grew the most. He had anger management issues and was a god. I'm not gonna say that. He was a sociopath, but grew into someone really caring and genuine. His family gets destroyed, and he's the one who cleans the mess up. but then randomly decides to go on this stupid boat trip for no reason. This is the character who traveled all the way to Florida for Erin, but he just leave her to ride a boat without her. What the what the f? And on top of it all, and to top it all off, he gets the worst ending of the group. Great. People say the finale makes up for it, which is a complete lie. Sure, it was cute, but it doesn't justify the last shitty season we had to deal with. Yeah, Michael's there, but only for 2 scenes. Y'all, this, like, there's a lot more I want to say, but hey, life is short. So he said, well, he kept watching until February the 21st, 2021. That's the day my older brother came into my room with a proposition. If we can't fix everything in a year, we'll kill ourselves and our family. Allow me to explain. Anyone who knew me knew that I operate on pure logic. Every decision I make is based on a pros, cons list, including the one to kill my family. Okay, like Jesus, I don't know what made them come up with killing they like. Okay, y'all. Okay, so this says, let's start with the meaning of life. Everyone thinks the meaning of life is the deep, unsolvable mystery. But the conclusion I came to is really simple. The only reason for existing is happiness. In fact, every decision you make is solely because it is to tribute to your overall happiness. I know many of you would disagree with me, but hopefully I can convince you with a few examples. There's the obvious choice we make, like watching movies or playing video games, which make us happy directly. But then there's the more obscure and less obvious decisions. Students don't attend school for direct happiness, but they view the alternative as worse for their happiness. Whether it be disappointing their parents or not having a future. So they go, thus contributing to their total happiness. The others who skip view school as the worst decision and felt that short-term happiness is more valuable. Some of you religious people might say you only live to please God, but the fact of worship is yet another decision that you make that makes you content. Even some selfless things like going to your annoying friend's birthday party is something that makes you happy because all your other friends knowing you skip would make you feel worse. Going to work, taking drugs, even taking out the trash are decisions we make for happiness and happiness only. If the only reason to live is for happiness, then logically you shouldn't live if you aren't happy. Well, hold up. Now, who said you? Okay. Oh, Lord. That makes sense, right? Imagine waking up being waterboarded for an hour, electrocuted for 20 minutes, forced to watch the first half of season 9 of The Office, and finally put to sleep. Now, imagine repeating that cycle daily until you die. In this scenario, I'm sure that every single one of you would prefer death, whether you want to admit it or not. Let me Gata Hana. I wonder why two members of the same family have this depression. Both were smart enough to get to. It could be Gata. Um because yes, they were both smart and they both came up with this idea, but it's stress. It's like it's the stress of living as like I had to see what's like. He really doesn't talk about his childhood. He's just talking about he's depressed. But what's causing you to be depressed? You're saying you're not happy. Why are you not happy? he's not talking about how his life is like or what his childhood was like. That's the reason why he's depressed, or like traumatizing events, this stuff that happened in his life that's caused him to be depressed, or was he bullied? Was he, he's not really talking about that. So I'm gonna continue on, and then whatever, I'll address whoever else in the chat. So although I am not quite as bad as this of a situation, it's bad enough to warrant suicide. I live in so much pain and turmoil that it isn't worth living anymore. I am aware that my death will bring sadness to everyone else, but I guess I'm too selfish to care. You too, Miss Gloria. How are you? Not selfish enough, however. There's my family. The one reason I forced myself to live for 19 years. I know I said I operate on logic, but the one emotional aspect of my life is the only reason I'm here. I love my family. I genuinely do. And that's exactly why I decided to kill them. I don't know what type of crazy mess or kind of logic this is, but child. So if I killed just myself, they would be miserable. They would spend the rest of their lives feeling guilt, despair, and a multitude of other adjectives that means sad. Even after they got over it, it would have become a permanent facet of their lives, i.e., someone I love killed themselves and I couldn't do anything about it. Instead of having to deal with the aftermath of my suicide, I could just do them a favor and take them with me. Okay. Honey, none of us could ever have to feel sad ever again. My brother and I tried for a little bit. There was small improvement, like me doubling my medication again. Diagnosed. Yes, Shafanti, just selfish. Like, then he's diagnosed, he says here, excuse me, y'all, diagnosed with ADHD. But we eventually realized we were just beating our time. Waiting a year was way too long. Why not wait a month? The plan was simple. We get 2 guns. Oh no. I take one, shoot my sister and grandmama, while my brother killed our parents with the other, and then we take ourselves out. I would say the only hard part of the plan was getting the guns. But that would be a lie. My fourth and final point. Gun control in the United States is a joke. All my brother had to do was go to the gun shop, say something about wanting a gun for home defense, sign some forms, and that was it. There was a question asking if he had any mental illness, but get this, he lied. He literally just said no. They don't ask for proof or if he was taking any medication. He was. Just a yes or no question. Literally, anyone can get a gun if they haven't been officially diagnosed. Thanks for making my process so easy. In my last few minutes, I realized I needed to get rid of all of my money and decided to do so by helping out some people on GoFundMe. I would just like to say, what the fuck? The fundraisers are organized by most raised. Why the fuck is it organized in the most ineffective way of raising as much money as possible? How are you supposed to start your project if the top ones are the ones with the most money? That doesn't make any sense. Literally, no sense. Literally scrolled for 20 minutes, and the least amount raised I found was 35,000. This shit is pissing me off, man. It's pissing me off to the point where I'm just gonna donate to charity now. I know it's less effective, but I don't care. Fuck the people who programmed the filter on GoFundMe. I don't care how many lives you changed. You could have changed even more if you made multiple filters, and now we're here. Well, I guess my family and I aren't, but you get the point. Whew. Okay, so that's the part of the letter. That's the letter. I am in shell shock. I mean, I am in shell shock right now. How could you literally come up that it would be a better idea to kill your family? Why you just didn't tell your, like, I don't understand why he just didn't say, I need help. I'm not happy. I am depressed. I need someone to help me. Like, did his family see him? Like, I have so many questions. Like, did the family see them with the guns? Like, what y'all doing with these guns? Like, yeah, Shafanti, he planned it all. And he sounds sick and toxic. Yep, he planned it all. Him and his brother planned it. He took a gun, killed his twin sister, and then the grandmama. So you gonna kill your whole family because you depressed, because you have a mental issue, not your whole family. You are the one with the mental problem. And yes, he's right. I know that was a long letter I read, but thank you to the ones that has came in and listened to the whole thing to get the whole point. Yep, I think so too, Shafanti. But let me just say this. He did not lie about the gun control here in the United States. It needs to be more gun control for reasons like this. So he said his brother they asked him, hey, I'm going to the pawn shop. I'm just gonna go get me a gun. I need me a gun to go a gun to protect myself for the house. So he was like, hey, do you got a how old are you? Okay, you of age. Do you have any kind of mental illness or anything like that? Knowing that you do. No. Oh, okay. Well, let me sign this over there. Boom, you got a gun to go kill your family. I don't know what this world is coming to, Lord, but ain't no way you could possibly think logically enough to say, I'm going to kill myself and kill my family. You are very sick and twisted in the mind. And that's more than just depression. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not none of that. But it's more than just depression. Like, cause I still don't get. Okay, so he said, we live in a world where we want to be happy. Every day ain't a good day. I'm gonna tell you this. Everyone knows that every day. Everybody, put it in the chat. Everybody can agree with this. Every day ain't a good day. Every day is not a good day. To be honest, Gotta, I think it's both mental and psychological. He sounds like a psycho. He sounds like a psycho. Only a psychopath would kill their parent, their family. Only a psychopath would kill their family and then think that it's okay because, oh, I'm depressed and if I kill myself, they're going to be living with that feeling of if I could have just talked to them so instead of them dealing with that, I'll just take their life so they don't have to deal with it. Like, Tell me what kind of, like he said, he's a logical thinker. He had to think of the pros and the cons. But do you know what you have done to people on this earth that loved your family, your other family members? I know, Shafan. Excuse me. I know, Shafanti. Like, I never thought, to be honest, like, I thought I would, you know what I'm saying? You have heard about family. Yes, Miss Gloria. Just keep trusting Jesus and keep praying. Yes, because let me tell y'all, it seems like more and more and more and more as this time goes by, the mental illness and psychological illnesses are getting very, very prevalent in our communities. So you say your kids go to the same school, and to go to this college, you need to be in the top 6%. So you think the stress of trying to stay at the top caused him to be depressed? The stress of keeping your grades up and keep staying in college, because it sounded like he had a decent life. Um, he, he took him and his family life, so we won't really know. Like, we won't really know. But my heart just like goes off to the family, if they have any, the Bangladesh, like they're from Bangladesh. Um, they're from Bangladesh. I may not say the name right, but that's how I see it. Um, but I just pray that he can say, then like these kids were young. Like Farbin was 19, sister was 19. Iron Islam, the mother was 56. Kyle Islam was 54. The grandmother was 77. The suspect Farhan was 19, and Tanver was 21. So they are young. And just killed your, like, they killed their family. Oh my God. Like, and and then he has to have some type of mental disorder if he was cutting himself. Like, he admits to cutting himself. At first it seemed like the more and more he did it, the more and more he wanted to do it. The more and more he wanted to do it. It seemed like he got addicted to cutting himself. He had to have some kind of pain. And once he got that pain, he was relieved. And I don't know what he was fighting at home. Like I said, it could be a different cultures had, when you are living in a, like, different cultures comes with different kind of expectations. So it could have been a cultural thing too, with him being from Bangladesh and stuff like that. And you're not from around here, they might think you a terrorist. Anything. Um, but I know for sure this is a mental and psychological thing. And if he wrote a suicide note, then this was a plan him and his brother thought out through and through. And on the people they got to answer to now, the person they got to answer to now is the man up high. And let me just say this: you can't kill your family and think you're gonna get to heaven. God is a forgiving God, but you killed your family because of your own depression. your own self-inflicted wounds that you are going through. All you need is just help. You should have, you know, sometimes, guys, we got to pay attention. When people are screaming for help, get them the help they need. And sometimes, even if that means you getting them the help, putting them in a facility, letting them stay there till this come together. It's hard, you know, it is like frustrating to see your family member locked up in a mental institute, but would you rather for them to get their mental in check or live a short-lived life? You know, this story is like, oh, I hope I don't dream about this, Lord. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope I don't dream about this, but y'all just, you know, just keep, if you have, are you depressed or feeling depressed and you having anxiety and things like that, go talk to somebody, get you some help. Um, Keep an eye on your mental health. You don't have to take your life. You don't have to take your life. Your life is too precious. And you don't have to take nobody else's. If you need some help, go get you some. Right, call the hotline. Um, but if you guys, if it's something about the story you want to say, there is the link. Please be respectful. Don't come on here with the craziness. There is the link. If you want to come on here and say something about mental health, or yeah, Chris, it is sad. It is sad. It is actually sad, and um, a whole family is gone because of two people foolish decisions. Two people foolish decisions. So, you know, let's just, let's just pray for the best. Excuse me, y'all. Because sometimes, guys, we can get in a place of anger and we can actually kill someone because they have pushed us to a place of no return, because you mentally you have checked out, you done blacked out. Don't let no one get you to that point. I'm telling myself that don't ever let someone get you to that point where you checked out mentally and taking someone's life or thinking about taking somebody's life. Guys, Jesus. Like, this is a sad. I thought the story about the woman being burnt, the lady and the kids being burnt up was sad. This is even sadder to me because a whole family died because of depression. Right, Miss Gotta. Gotta. Pray for all depressed people. It is much harder than physical illness. Let us be nice and helpful to each other. Right. Be nice to people. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Everything, you don't have to. Some people feel like they have to, oh, I'm big and bad. I got to fight you. I got to intimidate you. You don't have to be that type of person. Trust me, it's somebody bigger and better than you. And stop thinking just because, like, stop thinking that counseling it doesn't work. Talking to someone doesn't work. Taking medication doesn't work. If that medication doesn't work, then go back to the doctor, tell me it's not working, and let them get you something else so you can be okay. So you can be at a place of peace and happiness. Everyone does. One thing I know for sure, everyone deserves to be happy and be at a happy place in life. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. I thank each and every one of you guys for coming on here. If you guys have nothing else to, if I don't have anything to say, I appreciate you guys for coming. Like I said, if you're new here and if you want to be a subscriber, all you have to do is press that subscribe button. We welcome you here at Monica News and Views. If you want to be part of the News and Views group and you want to know what we're going to be talking about, a topic we're going to talk about the next day, or you want to be a part of the group where you want to be on the calendar and all different type of perks that we have, all you have to do is press that join button, or you can click the link in the description box below. So guys, y'all have a wonderful night. Make sure that you pray for everyone, love on everyone, and be at a place of happiness. Even when, just find the happiness, just find peace somewhere. Amen. See y'all tomorrow with the Lord's will.